Hey guys, it's Laura. Thanks so much for joining me for my very first Wellness Wednesday. I'm so excited that you are here, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about primary food versus secondary food, what it is and how it might play a role in your health and wellness. So one of the very first concepts they teach us here at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition is the concept of primary foods versus secondary foods. And there's 12 categories of primary foods. I have a list here, and I'm also going to give you guys a link to the resource to be able to kind of do a self-assessment in these areas. So I'll have that around the video somewhere. But let me list off the 12 primary food areas: spirituality, creativity, finances, career, education, health, physical activity, home cooking, home environment, relationships, social life, and joy. And here's the whole concept, and part of what resonated with me when I first started at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and part of why I actually chose that school over other health coaching options, was because of their focus on these areas, because I have lived this and I know this to be true. Often the situation that you are in, whether it's a high stress job or a failed relationship, something could be an external factor out of these areas that has more impact on your health than the food you put in your body. And while the food you put in your body is super important, and I'm learning so much about that as part of the IIN health coaching program, but the primary foods can often override what we are talking about putting in your body, which is referred to as the secondary food. So it's interesting because they've done studies that they watched populations that came over all together, settled in one area, had a really high joy rate, a really high community bond, and they were rarely sick, even though they ate food that was not good. You know, lard and high fat and meatballs and all these other things that you would not equate with a healthy diet. Yet these people were, this population was free of disease and pretty much very, very healthy. And what they did is they watched the generations that followed, and those generations spread out. And they left that community atmosphere where they had this really tight-knit bond. And lo and behold, they started getting sick more often. And then they also looked at other populations that were eating all super healthy, you know, 100% clean food, really hyper vigilant, yet they lived in a really high stress environment. Maybe their work environment was really high stress, their relationships were off, other areas of their life were off, and they were super sick. No matter how much good food that they put in their body, there was this external factor at play. And I really believe that. And at IIN, they teach that there are 4 primary focuses within these primary foods, 4 most important ones, and they are career, relationships, spirituality, and physical activity. And so when you take this assessment, it'll kind of rank your quota on those areas. I want you to think about the areas that you are low, especially if they are one of those 4 primary ones. What can you do to improve your score in those areas? You know, sometimes it's drastic, like leaving your job that's super high stress that you can't stand, and it causes you anxiety and problems every single time you go. Or maybe getting out of a toxic relationship that you really know is just dragging you down. It's really negative. It's not a good situation. Maybe spirituality is coming back to God and just being back in touch with the spiritual aspect of your life that may be missing. It's coming back to a church home or reconnecting to your spiritual side. And then also in physical activity, maybe that's just getting out and doing a simple walk every single day. So what are some simple steps that you could take in the primary food areas that may help your overall health increase? It's not so much about what you put in your body. While that is super important, I do believe that the primary foods play even more important role in your overall health than necessarily the foods. So some food for thought there today on my very first Wellness Wednesday. I hope you guys are having a fabulous day. Again, I'll put the link to the self-assessment somewhere around the video, and you'll be able to take a little test and see where you score, and it'll kind of draw on the circle where you are. That way you'll know areas that in your life out of these 12 primary foods that you might be able to focus on to make some overall impact on your health. I hope you guys are having a blessed day, and I'll see you back again next Wednesday for another Wellness Wednesday. See you soon. Bye.